Hello, Marina.
Hey Natalie, so what's up?
Well, I'm just here, thinking about this amazing question that somebody asked in our Facebook group because every Friday we have this Freak Out Friday post, and she was wondering how much time we spend, producing versus promoting content. Like, what is that balancing act? So I was like, hmm, maybe we should talk about planning, producing, and promoting content. What do you think?
I think that's a wonderful topic because that's so true. We don't spend all of our time planning or all of our time producing or even all of our time promoting, but it's actually a fine formula between all three in order that we actually get the most out of the content that we create.
And the
So,
time that we have.
absolutely, because of course our time is limited. We have lots of different projects, and maybe creating content for our YouTube channel or for our blog is just one of the pieces of the entire puzzle.
Definitely. Okay, how about you take it first? Talk about planning. I know that you're all about the month at a time. So, how much time are you spending planning out your posts and your videos? You can talk about every week or every month, whatever works for you.
Now, usually when I'm planning ahead, I plan between 1 to 3 months in advance, where I'll literally just sit down and gather all of the ideas that I have for my YouTube channel.
Mhm.
And I try to group each month into a general topic. So one month may be website creation, one may be blog post about, and the other one may be about social media and all of that. Then I gather all of the ideas within these sections and just group them together and think about an actual order that would make sense, posting one by one. But the thing is, I'm not the only one that needs to be interested in those topics. So I'll actually head over to YouTube and see if people are searching for something. So let's say, for instance, how to create a YouTube channel. I'll just put it inside of YouTube in the search bar and see what videos are popping up, how many views those people have, how many subscribers those people have versus the number of views, how
Mhm.
long those videos are, and see if I could create something different that would stand out in that sea of other videos that already exist. I'll also look at a tool called TubeBuddy. So let's just head over to my YouTube channel. So for instance, let's click on this video over here, how to get rich without getting lucky. Say I want to create a video on this topic. We can see a number of stats for this video over here on the side and see whether this is being ranked in search or not. Or as I mentioned, how to create a YouTube video. Let's just search for that. And we'll see over here the actual score that this is getting. So it's only getting a 40 out of 100. And I can see some related opportunities over here to make it slightly better. So instead of how to create a YouTube video, it would even improve by being how to make a YouTube video instead. So once I find some ideas that are actually over here closer towards the 100, when we get to that little green section rather than this yellow or red, I'll add it down to my list of things that I want to create, which is over here, and plan my content out that way and write down a bunch of ideas and then start creating.
So in
But
your planning
additionally,
phase, we're talking about keywords, right? We're just planning out your keywords, making sure that your content is not just something you're interested in writing or creating, but other people are interested in learning about. I do believe content
absolutely.
creation is all about that balancing act, stuff you know and stuff people want to know that you can teach them.
Totally, because I even have this master document of ideas that I have, or even comments that people leave on my videos. For instance, how to add an animated checklist on the side of the video as you're talking. So write down what people are interested in watching, and then see if there is actual interest from YouTube at large on that particular topic. So that is basically how I approach planning in my case.
Love that. Love how organized you are. So I am also all about the keywords. When it comes to content planning on my blog, It's All You Boo, the majority of my content is created by guest posters. So anytime someone is writing a piece for me, I've got a list of, blog posts that I'm interested in, for example, already listed on my page. So here is this list of content ideas that I'm interested in. So say you want to guest post on my site, you'd fill out this form and be like, oh, hey, these are my ideas. And I'm going to reply to that email and be like, okay, that's your main post title. Here are your other keywords. So I'm also doing the same thing, making sure that, yes, it's a post that they want to write, but it's a post that other people would actually want to read. So I do the same, similar content ideas. And be sure to check out our other video on how to create click-worthy content, right? Where we go more into finding your keywords. I send them those keywords, they produce the content, and then I'm publishing it on my site. So we do very much have that similar approach. I do have a running list of keywords I'm interested in, things that I also want to produce content for. And I just want to show you guys something quickly. Like Marina was saying how, she copies all of the comments. I actually over on Facebook, because I'm in so many groups, anytime anyone posts a comment about something that I can make a video on, I actually just save it. I just save their posts. So for example, this person was asking for how to be consistent, and I was like, hey, I made a video for you. I actually, replied to his comment and told him that I made a video for him, and then he subscribed to my channel. So I do that anytime someone posts a question, I save it, and then I can just go back.
That's such a fantastic idea, because there is interest in that topic, because we don't want to be talking to ourselves when we're creating new videos or new blog posts. We want to create content that people actually want to consume. And the best way in order to consume content or to produce content is to produce on things that people are already having questions about. So I absolutely adore those tips. So good.
Okay, so let's move to the second one, producing content. How much time do you actually spend? Because it seems like the bulk of your time is in planning. So by producing, we're talking about filming and I guess scheduling your posts. So how much time do you put into that?
I feel like if we just look at everything at large, on a scale of 0 to 100, I would spend 10% planning and around 60% producing, which is where I spend most of my time, and then 30% promoting that content. So we're now getting to the bulk of it, to this 60%. And let's share my screen again, as you'll see, I actually have a running list of everything that needs to get done for each content or each piece of content that I need to create. So on this video here on how to record your computer screen, I need to script it, create graphics, record, edit, upload, create the Instagram content, blog post, ConvertKit email broadcast, as well as add it to Tailwind. So usually for around each video, it would take me maybe an hour and a half to script, half an hour to create graphics, half an hour to record both the part that you see my face as well as the screen, maybe half an hour to edit. To upload is pretty fast, so maybe 10-15 minutes just to add all of the keywords, the screen capture and all of that, the subtitles, Instagram blog, ConvertKit, and Tailwind. Maybe all of this last section would take about 1 hour total max. So if we sum all of that up, maybe it will take me about 4 to 5 hours to create one new piece of content.
And that's a video.
That's one video. But the thing is, I'm not actually sitting down and producing this one video in a go. So as you can see here, there are a bunch of different things that are green, yellow, and some that are not even colored. That's because I batch create all of my content, and I actually do all of my scripting at once, all of the graphics at once. Right now, I'm currently doing the recording, and then I'll do the editing and the uploading. So it's actually way faster to do it this way than if I were going to do this one video from start to finish.
Love that. So I'm not that organized when it comes to my YouTube channel as yet. I'm still new to it. But when it comes to my blog, I've got a system. It's been 4 years. So I usually batch schedule about 8 blog posts at a time. That's about a month's content. So I have my guest writers, they produce their content, they send it back to me as a Google Doc. And then from there, that Google document is going into WordPress, where I'm then doing exactly what you're doing. So first go around, it's all the text. I add in some internal links. Second go around, I'm designing all of my graphics. So that's my blog header image, my social sharing image, my pins. That's designed. My third go around, I'm adding in all those graphics and SEOing, or I say pin SEOing, make sure every image is optimized for Pinterest. And then I schedule them, and then I'm good for the month. So I do the same thing, I guess, in terms of when we're talking about promoting. A lot of our promotion prep is done in preparing content. So when you prepare your content properly, it's already optimized for sharing. And really, it's just the icing on the cake where we're then, okay, hopping into Facebook groups a bit and posting, making sure it's going out to Pinterest, right?
Exactly, absolutely. And that's a good part because if you already have your keywords and all of that, which you did in the planning phase, when, for instance, I'm scripting my video, I know exactly what I need to say in order to get that video to rank in search. And I'm using that exact same script as my blog post, and then using some of that for my captions for my social media posts. So basically, everything is done once you have all that planning that you did in the first phase.
Love that. I would say, in terms of my own time, that I'm probably spending maybe 10% planning, 60% producing, and then my last 30% is going to be on sharing that content. And I'd say it takes me maybe 4 hours to make a YouTube video and do all the other stuff for it as well. So I think we're pretty similar there. Although we have like different approaches, at the end of the day, we're spending roughly around the same amount of time, which is funny. So you just gotta find what works for you.
And if you want to actually see more in detail our own approaches to how we create our YouTube videos, make sure you check out the last video where we literally dived in, showing you step by step how we go from planning to execution in all of our YouTube videos.
Awesome. Well, this was fun. I love talking about this stuff. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe because we're live right here every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific. So I'll see you later, Marina.
Thank you. Bye.